Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're diving into what is universally shaping up to be the most thrilling group stage match of the entire 2026 World Cup. I'm talking about Brazil versus Morocco. It is an absolute powerhouse fixture, right? We're going to break down the data, the tactics, and the predictions to understand exactly how this massive clash of titans is actually going to unfold.
I mean, think about it. Can an incredible, historic winning streak from a supposed underdog actually stop a legendary footballing giant? That is the central drama right here. We aren't just looking at two random teams drawn together. We're looking at an irresistible force meeting an immovable object. The narratives coming into this specific game are literally off the charts. And you know what? The data we're about to look at tells a phenomenal story.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Tale of the tape. Two heavyweights collide.
Now, what's really interesting here is that this isn't your typical World Cup group stage mismatch. No way. This is elite versus elite. You have Brazil sitting 6th in the FIFA rankings, stepping into a highly anticipated new era under Carlo Ancelotti, and breathing right down their necks at 8th in the world, Morocco, a team that's still riding a massive wave of momentum from their historic 2022 run.
29. Seriously? Just absorb that for a second. According to tournament previews, Morocco is riding a staggering 29-match unbeaten streak. I mean, you don't survive that many chaotic international breaks in a row by pure luck. That requires immense discipline, incredible talent, and an absolute ironclad belief in your system. That streak is exactly why they're widely viewed as one of the toughest opponents Brazil could possibly face in this group.
And you know, that ironclad belief, it comes straight from their leadership and their recent history. Led by the incredible Achraf Hakimi, Morocco carries massive confidence. They aren't just hoping to do well, they know for a fact they can do well. They've literally been to the mountaintop. That historic 2022 World Cup semifinal run completely changed the psychology of this squad. They no longer fear the traditional giants of the game, which makes them a uniquely dangerous threat to a team like Brazil. But on the other side of the pitch, the pedigree remains totally intact. As the previews highlight, Brazil are starting a new era under Carlo Ancelotti, and they remain one of the tournament favorites. Despite the pressure of a huge managerial transition, they are still the ultimate team to beat. They're blending legendary historical expectations with the tactical brilliance of one of the most successful managers in European football history.
Moving right along into Part 2, the tactical battleground, how the match will be won.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're looking at. This match presents an incredible clash of styles. Brazil wants the ball, right? They rely on heavy possession, funneling their attacks through explosive wingers like Vinicius Jr. and Rafinha to completely dictate the tempo. Morocco, conversely, is incredibly comfortable without the ball. They'll employ a compact defense to absorb that pressure and then punish Brazil with lightning-fast, quick transitions. Actually, this specific style of countering with lethal speed is exactly what has troubled elite teams in the past when facing Morocco. However, there is a fascinating tactical wrinkle here. We really have to contrast Brazil's wide attacking threat with their missing piece. The reported absence of Neymar fundamentally changes their geometry on the pitch. It drastically reduces central creativity, shifting the burden pretty much entirely onto the wings. So the big question becomes, can Morocco's compact defense neutralize those wide areas, knowing the central threat is diminished?
Let's move to our third and final section and see how this all builds up. Predictions and picks. The verdict.
When we feed all of these tactical nuances and historical data points into Opta's supercomputer, it spits out a very, very specific number, 58.6%. That is the exact probability the analytical models are giving Brazil to win this match. It shows they are the clear favorites for sure. But when you think about the sheer quality and pedigree of Brazil, a number sitting under 60% actually speaks volumes about how highly the algorithms respect Morocco.
Looking at the full spectrum of outcome probabilities, Brazil sits right in that 55 to 60% zone to take all 3 points. But consider the draw probability, a very healthy 25 to 30% chance that Morocco's compact defense holds strong and forces a stalemate. And, of course, Morocco holds a very real 15 to 20% chance of snatching a victory outright. The data clearly shows this is far from a foregone conclusion.
So, knowing all those probabilities, knowing the tactical stalemate that might occur, and knowing the absolute firepower on both sides, what is the consensus? What is the exact predicted scoreline that the analytical previews are pointing towards? The consensus lands right here. Brazil 2, Morocco 1. Several analytical previews and betting models published ahead of this match heavily align on this exact tight margin. It reflects a match where Morocco's quick transitions are expected to yield at least one goal, breaking through Brazil's lines. But ultimately, the sheer volume of chance creation from Brazil is expected to just barely overwhelm the Moroccan defense over 90 minutes.
Now, if you're looking for actionable takeaways based on this data, here are the best betting-style picks. Remember, these are data-backed insights, absolutely not guarantees. But the models suggest Brazil draw no bet as a safety play. Both teams to score, yes, which aligns perfectly with that 2-1 predicted scoreline we just talked about, and for the bold, Brazil to win by exactly a 1-goal margin. These picks perfectly encapsulate the expectation of a fiercely contested, tight match.
To wrap up the data analysis, the overall confidence level for this prediction sits at a solid 7 out of 10. Why not higher? Well, because while Brazil's attacking quality and their sheer depth off the bench give them the undeniable edge, Morocco's threat is incredibly real. They are robust, they are unified, and they are absolutely strong enough to cause an upset if Brazil is even slightly off their game. Which leaves us with this final thrilling thought. We've got the data, the tactics, and the history right in front of us. Brazil is ready for a new era, but Morocco's 29-match unbeaten streak is looming large. Is a massive World Cup upset brewing on the horizon? When these two clash, you will absolutely not want to miss a single second. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.